Well, welcome out there. This is Harold Papa Bear's Peppers coming at you tonight. Want to do a giveaway. Give me 1 second. Hi, bye, boy. Yeah, there we go. I'm back. So I got everything in that I wanted to get here for this giveaway. Thanks to Bootstrap Farmer for sending these bags out. And I don't see it on my screen. I was hoping to see that I have people live, but I don't see comments. So this one's going to be hard to tell. So let me see if I can get the comments up here. There we go. There. We start chatting, and I know we got some people in, but as you know, been doing offering a giveaway here, and it's just to have fun with the grow this year with our pepper grow. I'm excited. I know I've got so many peppers out there in the grow shed right now going that is crazy, and I need to start transplanting into a little bit larger containers because they're getting that big and they're getting that crowded in there. I want them to open up and really go so that they're ready by the grow season around here. Not only for me using them in the monster greenhouse and in the farmer house. Well, I should correct that because this year all of them are going to be in Bootstrap Farmer. I have 25-gallon bags that are going into the monster house, and while the containers have served me well, the grow bags have just better overall properties to growing, and that's why I'm offering these up to you guys. And here's the bags that Bootstrap Farmer sent, and so you're going to get 2 of these. And when when you first look at it, you go, well, that's not very big, but it opens up, and when they get big, they're like this. And so they're a nice big grow bag. They're heavy felt. These are an all-natural, organic, heavy felt. A very good bag. I'm telling you that right now. I really appreciate these bags when I'm growing because you don't think much about it until you're growing with them. And when you're growing with them, then you realize how the properties are. We've been doing our grow bags now I've been using them now, getting kind of used to them for the last 2 or 3 years. What are the pluses to it? Air pruning, air transfer back and forth. When it comes to the root zone, you get air transfer back and forth through here. Nearly impossible to overwater. You really can't, because unless your soil is just like a hard pack that you're putting in here that has absolutely no drainage, it's going to drain, and it comes out the sides here, but it doesn't let it all out. Your moisture will be at a level that's consistent with what your plants want. So, I mean, there's so many benefits to using the grow bags. A lot more portable with these handles than are your standard buckets or whatever that you have to grab by the lip or grab by the handle if you're using a 5-gallon bucket, which I don't know. What is the other part when it comes to temperatures? Extreme cold, extreme hot, extreme heat. The transfer of air is going to also allow the temperature of around that root ball to dissipate and get away. So, there's a lot of different aspects to a grow bag. Now, what would I say my downfall is to using a grow bag? I would say that it can dry out really quick, but not really a bad thing, because when it dries out quick, that means that it's allowing you to water more often. And with that, I can't tell up this. So I'm using my tablet to record, so I'm trying to make sure that it's doing what I want it to, but I gotta hope that it is. So that way I can use my random comment selector on here to pick these. So I'm going to put 4 of these on each one, these recharges. Now, recharge is what they call their soil microbe super pack. And with this, you're also going to be getting these cards. These cards are going to allow you to know exactly how to use your grow dots, as well as your using your okay, there we got some people here. Hey, let me see now. Yeah, it just disappears on me so fast. So how you guys doing out there? Of course, my eyes are old, so I see comments coming in, but it disappears on me so fast. um, there, finally it's showing up. Let's hopefully it stays up. I want to hopefully it does. I'm seeing them. I wonder how to make it pin up. I don't know. It's next comment I see, I'm going to hit that learn more thing. But so these are the packs that I'm giving away. Again, Bootstrap Farmers 5-gallon smart bags, the grow bags, which I've been using. Again, I'm going to be using those for both of my greenhouses as well as outside for my peppers. I love them. There, that's what I wanted to do. Well, I'm getting comments out there and I see them, but then they fade on me because I'm on here. So I want to welcome you all to the channel, though, and tell you how much I appreciate you, because I'm doing this because of you guys. And, my passion for growing peppers, just like it's your passion for growing peppers, and learning and evolving like we all do to try and grow the best, hottest peppers that we can out there. Now, I love my nectar for the gods, and I will continue to use nectar for the gods. But I also really love using, especially the recharge in, oh, I see arsenic element, and I see, I wish this thing would quit fading on me. I really do, but by the time I get to seeing them, it's already disappearing. Oh, the grower shirt. Yeah. Yeah, I love this grower shirt. This is one I had them send out. Uh, this is a cool hat, too. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's a recharge hat. I was going to do that to it, but my Bootstrap Farmer hat. Just some really good people though. Bootstrap Farmer though, if you're looking for product, that's where I go to get my bags. And I'll tell you what, and I still buy my bags from Bootstrap Farmer because I can get a 10-pack of bags for a really decent price. And I know it's like, well, I can go on Amazon and get grow bags for this price, but I thought that, and I really did. Don't. This is not because I'm affiliated to Grow Bag or to Bootstrap Farmer. I experimented everything that you do that I do. I experiment with before I say, okay, I want to support that or whatever the case is. Now, what I'm talking about, like these grow bags, I ran them up against the Amazon bags, the cheaper versions. And my problem with the cheaper version of the Amazon bag is they don't look a lot different. They're thinner, which they dry out quicker. They don't insulate as well against the cold and the hot, which if you're in some of the southern states down there, eastern, southeastern states, you probably want a little bit more insulation. It still breathes. But I do see the comments out there, and I wish I could just go out there and lock into that with my phone. I normally could, or on my computer in there, but I got to get my camera issues worked out with that. Battling this crazy 103-degree temperature I had 2 days ago. So, craziest thing. But back to the products. And the Bootstrap Farmer bags, as well as other. If you do soil block, I heard somebody one time, well, why would I? Yeah, you can use Dixie cups, and I still use those for when I'm prepping plants for sale. I'm sorry, I'm not giving away my Bootstrap Farmer uh, containers like that because they're high quality containers. Even those four, and I didn't bring any in because I was just more or less setting this up. Those 4-cell containers are, man, they're big. But when you put them in there, you're giving them room to grow for a while, and they're going to air prune as well. So it's a win-win. You can grow them bigger in those without worrying about transplant right away. And so there's definitely benefits. My trays, my air prune trays, are packed right now. I mean, they pack up. They grow so fast in those air prune trays, and they're just packed. So I've got probably 250, 300 plants I got to transplant. It is what it is. That's part of life when you start that many and they're all successful. But these grow bags are heavier. They are competitive with any of the heavy. And if you look at the thickness of these bags, the millimeters, you'll have to excuse me, but the thickness of this, the mill thickness of this fabric compared to most of them, it's a little bit thicker. And while you're like, well, that's negligible, it's not. And if you look at bags that are this same mill thickness on the fabric, tend to run just a little bit more in cost. So you're actually getting a value, and these are nice tall bags. Like I said, when they open up, when you get these, they're going to look like they're short, but they open up and they're tall, like that. So you got plenty of room for those roots to go down in, and they air prune. So when they get down there, instead of doing this and going around the bucket like they would in a normal one. They're going to go out and hit. When they hit the edges and then the bottom, the air prune, which means that's just going to basically take off the end of that, almost like cauterize the end of it, but it's going to cause the root mass, so then those root ends to split and you get more roots. So you get, it's a win-win situation when it comes to those. So your root ball is going to actually get bigger, healthier root ball, more oxygen transfer back and forth into the root zone, which is going to allow a lot more growth of that root system. If you have a strong root system, you're going to have stronger peppers. And I think it attributes a lot to what I get when it comes to my healthy plants. I really do. Moving on. Real growers. Now, a lot of you haven't heard, like, what is that? Okay, so my best way to liken Recharge, and these are the little sample packs that you're going to get. Recharge is a great product. And I was going to bring in the big bag, but you're guaranteed results within 48 hours. I think that's what it said, is within 48 hours. You're going to get these cards, how to use the grow dots and how to be using your Recharge, half teaspoon per gallon. I use this as a foliar spray. I use it as a root soak, different applications. Here's a cool thing. I don't ever pH this. I just put it in the water, stir it up, and add it to my plants. And you've seen how healthy they look out there in the grow shed. They're just thriving right now. This adds all the mycorrhizal fungi, everything that they need, all the microbes, the beneficial bacteria. And what that does, it has the ability to break down the nutrients that are in your soil and allow your root system to take up those nutrients. It also has things like molasses in it, which it's just like having a compost tea, immediate. So you stir it in. I've heard people say that before, and you guys hear me out here. You guys a lot of times say, well, that's too complicated. You hear people say that a lot. Well, there's several situations why this is beneficial. A, what if you don't have the room to run a big compost pile? Maybe you just don't want to because that's not your thing. You don't want to do that. Well, this is a way to be able to make a compost tea, feed your soil, and that feeds the root system of your plant, which feeds your plant. And then that, obviously water in this. The grow dots, what this does is, this is crazy stuff here. So it doesn't get much simpler. You add this according to the instructions and you're done. You just put it in your soil of what you need. You mix it in. Now, this one is an extended veg and it's an auto release nutrient. So when you put it in your soil, it's going to add the nitrogen that you need in the beginning to get your nice foliage, to really get your plant to take off, get it big where it needs to be, and push that nutrient level. Then at a certain point, it's going to start, when you get into flowering and your fruiting, it's going to start releasing your potassium and your phosphorus and your phosphate so that your plants get everything it needs for bigger fruit. Now, where a lot of this might come in is I am getting to that point where there is a calcium release in this, but I'm going to probably end up using my Nectar for the Gods because I just love what Nectar for the Gods does for my plants. So and I'll bring in a Herculean Harvest, and I'll still bring in some blends of my nectar for the gods. But this stuff can run alone. You can put this in your soil and run it from beginning to end, and you're going to have this feeding your plants, or actually extracting what you need for the plant, and then this will be feeding it through the whole life cycle. So not too much you have to think about right there. Pretty simple. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do the first one. And I'm sorry I can't interact. I'd rather interact with you all. But I'm going to do this random comment selector here. And I got it on my phone here, so I'm adding that right now. I want to grow as the keywords here. I gotta paste the link in here again. I don't know why it's doing that, but so it looks like we have Grow and Show 4209. And let me write these down so I remember them. Grow and Show 4209. That's our first winner. Let me write these down so I don't forget them. All right, I'm back. Now, what I'm going to need to here is I'm going to announce these winners, but I'm going to need you to send me your address and your name via an email at pbpeppers@gmail.com to do that, and then that way I can get these out to you. I've got this stuff. It'll be nothing. I'll get this stuff out in the mail here very soon. So the first winner there is Grow and Show 4209. I just got to do a quick check here, folks, while we're doing that. I wish my stupid comments would stay up. I don't know why it does that the way it's doing it. But this is on my tablet, so there. I think I got it. Let's see who we got here. Dean Levert. But see, the thing is it still fades on me. Mark Garcia, how you doing out there? Arsenic Element. Mike, how you doing? Yeah, just I'm sorry if I didn't get you, but the names will fade on my screen as I'm doing this. So I just have to do a real quick check here, make sure that we got everything going. Me, I'm just a little guy here, so I'm trying to figure all this out. Yep, there we go. So, all right, we're going to move on to the second one here. And I'll tell you what, if I could figure out a way to do it, I would put a couple plants in for you to ship, but I I can't figure out how to do it, not without damaging it. You know, there's people out here that send plants, and if I could figure out how to make sure I could get them to y'all, I would send like 2 plants with it too, just so you had some cool plants, some from the grow den out there, that these things are in awesome shape and really cooking along. Pat, I seen you out there, bud. How you doing? So let's see if we can get this to go again. Let's see here. Let me make sure here. This next one is John Arain, 3948. John Arain, 3948. And I'm just using a random comment selector like that. There is no. Congratulations out there too. You're going to find out how good this stuff really works, folks. I mean, you know, that old saying, you can grow like a pro, and it takes nothing to do this. So, uh, this is probably the simplest, and that's one thing I do like for a lot of people out there that don't want to run. You know, I love the intricacies of Nectar for the Gods. I love the results from them. I also love the results that I get. Like this, I feel like is the missing link. The Real Growers Recharge, things like that. Uh, but this is going to allow us to all determine how it grows for us in these awesome Bootstrap Farmer grow bags. And I want to shout out to, let me get this last one done. Looks like Pat, you got one out here at Pat Muscat, 8389. So that is our three, but I want to give a shout out to Bootstrap Farmer and Real Growers for sending this stuff so that I could get them out to you guys. They're genuinely great companies. They're both U.S. One's out of Colorado, one's out of Texas. Both places are near and dear to my heart. So these are U.S. made companies. Their products are U.S. They try and keep everything they can within the confines of their own buildings. That's where a lot of the companies that I do. Me being a veteran, a lot of the companies that I do, I really try and focus on things, and this is nothing against anybody else, but I try and stay focused on U.S. made products. I mean, just like I would expect if, you know, somebody's from UK that, you know, you like your products from UK. If you got good products, got some really good friends over there. Really good friends over in Europe. And I but you know what? That's also, I believe in our US made products, and that's what all of this is. There are a lot of them are small local companies, just like what we see here. Bootstrap Farmer is a small local company, and I'm going to be getting these out real soon. I know I'm jaw jacking now. Uh, oh, I will, arsenic. I will, man. I tell you what, they're growing like weeds, and I probably have to push. I've got them under my Spider Farmer lights. I've got them under another good light that's kind of relatively, I'd say, competitive in price. Is the other ones that I have out there? Oh God, what is the name of them? They're dimmable. They got all kinds of stuff. So, um, tell you what, you guys want to take a walk? I'll take you out into, and we'll do a real quick look out into the grow shed. I got nothing else to do. You have to, let's get out of here and we'll go out and take a look. What do you say? All right, gotcha. So we're going to go out there to the grow shed and take a peek and see what we got. I'm about to get run over by dogs. Aries, Athena. Yeah, Aries just turned a year old. He's a beast, King Shepherd. So I'm going to flip the screen here. Hopefully, oh shoot, I'm not going to do nothing without my this tablet. Is if I don't have the little wand, I'm not doing nothing with it. That's one thing about this camera, is that without this little doohickey here, it doesn't allow me to use just my finger. Bat, you'll have to help me with that and figure out how I could use my finger instead of the wand, but I didn't see it in settings. Uh, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to flip you around here. Going out there. If you guys remember, I videoed this before where the monster was and I had to capture it. Well, here it is again. It's the monster house. And let's go in here and take a look. A little messy as I'm in the middle of my grow. They're starting to get bigger and bigger. I haven't even transplanted a bunch of Moruga production strain. I got red dust spiral here, honey dust spiral back there, another tray of red dust spiral, chocolate Borgnine with tails. These have really a unique tail on them. These are a cross, and I'll leave it at that. These are a cross. There's some unique ones in here for sure. But at any rate, there's a bunch of them here. These ones are Primatali Ghost crosses. Got some unique ones in here. Yeah, I don't need a lot of those, but this one had to dry out when I was sick, and I lost a few of those plants, but that's okay. I got plenty in there still. They're fine. But like I said, I only need a handful of them to survive, and then they'll be good. Man, they stick together too when they do that. I don't know what that one's doing, hanging on like it was, but here's what happens when you throw your seed mix in with, this is just a Sikia type Primatali, but look what's going on in there, all the seed starts. Problem is I'm just going to have to call them random super hots. But here's a tray of, let's see, we got Borgnine Cross, chocolate Borgnine Cross, chocolate Death Spirals. This is the Death Spiral Primatali crosses in here. Pull right up into here. So those are all chocolate Primatali Death Spiral. DSPs, I call them. I got my red DSPs over in this way, right here. Red up here, and then what are those? Couple of the Maruga Scorpions on the end. These are all Primo. These are, now these are unique. So these come from what I call a large Primo, and the Primo that I'm talking about was like the size of a golf ball. Had a big tail on it, looked really good. So that's what those are coming from, and actually coming a lot of those from down on this tray down here, as you can see there. That tray is so full, it's packed, it's starting to affect itself, so I got to break those out. And then I come over here and I got another tray. So you can see my dilemma. I got a lot of them. What are these? These are the only mild types that I have Kang Star Lemon Starburst. Is this area right in here. They're just a good pepper. I like them, so I'm growing them. What are these? Green Manalishi back here. All of this second half is Green Manalishi. My newest cross. If you guys have been following, you know my new crosses of the Death Spiral Primatali crosses. Ooh. Oh, I was going to say, well, now that we're looking, you can see how big these trays are. Now, if you look, it's easier to look from the side right here. Look at how big those trays are. They're huge, even compared to, these are the same diameter, but shorter. Of course, then you go down another size here. Uh, the JDAM wetting agent, let's see. Highly recommend making this. I made mine, and it is a great, it's like if you were using dish soap, only it doesn't have any of the antimicrobial uh, properties to it, which can kill bacteria in your soil, which is not what you want to do. So, yeah. I'll give you a quick view here. I've got some other crosses here that I'm starting up. I'm waiting for those to pop. I'm going to get you on here. These are a special other cross. Very unique crosses of a good friend, and that's again one that I just, that's about where I leave that one. I got some, these are some of my Area 51 projects, I guess you could call them. Oh, here are some of my, these are some of the larger ones right here that you see are the chocolate Borgnine crossed. That's not a Reaper though, it was a Primo, so I like to turn that over. I know it was crossed. Chocolate Borgnine crossed. And it's got the formation of that tail like what you get on the way it shoots out like a Death Spiral or a Primatali. So It'll be unique to these. Now you see these here. These are going to have to be transferred soon. All these death spirals. I use the death spiral a lot, and if for any of you out there that wonder, death spiral has a very good flavor to it. Very good flavor. So I like using it in my crosses, and I also like it for hot sauces and things of that nature. And I know a lot of other people do too. This tray system that I told you about works really well. It's super easy. Only probably the only downfall to it is when you got to water. I almost have to top water on this, and what I do is I just take and I go with my finger over it, and I usually water it from the outside and let it wet in a little bit, but I definitely can't let it dry out too much. Yeah, I just let it go because you know what? Those plants are going to eat up that moisture in no time at all. So, it's very simple to water these. I don't think too much about it. I also use a sprayer, in case you're wondering, and I do use a sprayer. My sprayer does have recharge in it. I mix a quarter of a teaspoon. That's another thing about I'm over here watering these guys because they look like they're a little dried out. The other good thing about a JDAM wetting agent, if you're feeding your plants, now I've been doing a lot of research on the JDAM here lately because I seen it and I thought, okay, well that's good. So I started researching it, and I encourage you all to do the same. It'll actually hold your microbes and will allow them to, I guess the word would be suspended a little bit, so that it allows your plants to absorb it more. The water is held a little bit more versus it just running right through, especially like you see how dry this was when I was feeding these. And if your soil becomes uh, waterphobic, it gets too dry. It takes a while to get them to actually take the water in. And if it gets to that point, what you need to do is if you add like a JDAM wetting agent, it's going to help retain that water in there just a little bit longer, so that they will hold that water on your soil a little bit better. So yeah, I just add a little water to these. Some of these are just not done yet. Like I've got these ones back here, Tiberius Mahler, back here in the back. Starting to finally see a lot of time. Now what happens if I do what I just did, which is overwater? You can usually just take this thing and I pour it. If there's any moisture in it, it's going to come out. If it don't, good. So yeah, I got an extra. I was hoping for those to start coming up back up again soon, because this one here was really starting to bug me. It was only getting that one scraggly start up, and I was like, that ain't gonna work for me. But looks like I've got some. Just a lesson there too is like, you know what? Don't give up on them. Give them a chance. They like what happened here. This is one, probably an old seed that I put into there, and this one's here it's starting to come back to health now, but it was pretty beat up. I was like pretty much casting them off the dead. I've got 3 of them in here and pretty much casting them off the dead, and I thought, you know what? I'll bring them back to health and see how they do. I wasn't taking care of them. Pretty much considered them old growth, and I don't care. And in fact, the funny thing is over underneath this one, I got the same thing. I just put some soil under there. I already knew that I did, it were going to be some random super hot. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. So that's the grow shed, folks. Yeah, I've got to fill up my water jugs again here soon. I keep water in here. I keep everything in here. I ran power in here. There's one of my outlets, and I ran it all the way over here. This is coming off of a 50 amp fuse, and these are 20 amp sockets. So, yeah, everything happens here. Oh, the lights. Yeah, that's what I was going to get into. So I've got these lights here. These are my spider firmers. I got an SF200 or 2000 here that I've got dialed all the way down. SF1000 here dialed down. Having a momentary lapse here. This is a dimmable. That's the ones I was going to tell you about. If I could ever come up with the right name, I've got one of these here. Sansi. The Sansi lights. There we go. So this is a Sansi 100, and it's really cool because you have a dim switch right up here on the top, and then it provides all that light. And then I've got another Sansi 200 right here, and that's also dimmable. Like if I want to crank it up, like you can see how low that gets. Let's go like this. And I just leave it all the way up from how far it is away. And just let the plants creep up to it. So Jimmy, how you doing, buddy? What's up, bud? Got some packages ready to go out. One of them is going to come up to you real quick here. So Jim Morrow's in the house, a good friend of mine, real good friend. Let me get this flipped around. There we go. We're back in. Got puppies down here with me. And they make sure nothing happens to me. I've been guarded against 3 mailmen today that were potential killers. That's good, Jim. Say this out there. Jim Morrow, Jimmy Pickles, he's still in his seed sales, but I think, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy, you're doing your stuff still on Facebook, right? Leave him alone. You're still doing your sales on Facebook right now, if I remember right. He's been my go-to for, yeah. So he says yes. If you guys see that in the comments, he's been my go-to guy for, God, I don't know how long, for a long time. That I go through Jim for when I want to get isolated seeds. Now, I know there's a lot of folks, there's controversy. Some people say, yeah, well, ants can still provide it. Well, yeah. Yeah, so. But when you take all your precautions you can to isolate your seeds, you end up with the best possible chances of having exactly what you grow. Or at least when you know, and this is not to knock you guys, I know you're going to go out there and you're going to exchange seeds and everything else, but you're also going to have to be able to accept the fact that when you do that, you get what you get. Not bad, it's just that you're going to get what you get. You can't be surprised if, you traded seeds with Bobby and Bobby said they were ghost peppers and they come out something else. Yeah, I'm having trouble with the light in the background here. Hold on one moment. Set you in right there. There. But you can't be mad when you get your seeds back and they're not exactly what you thought they were, because they were crossed up within what that person was growing. Like even for my greenhouses, you guys have seen those mesh screens. I don't know what they call them. They're magic deck screens or whatever they're called. I'm sorry, I'm getting some coffee. I've been up all day, so I'm pretty tired. But I put those across my greenhouse door to lower the amount of uh, pollinators into my greenhouse. That doesn't make it a perfect system by any stretch of the imagination, but peppers are not they're not as airborne as they are contact as far as their pollination is considered. They are a lot more contact based, and that's why you have to literally, I'm going to put you back into the pedestal here. That's why you see a lot of times where accidental crosses happen. And I know that. We all know it. And sometimes that accidental is unintentional at the wrong times when you're doing crosses, like what I'm doing with the only fortunate cross that I got out of that was with the Primatali, but I have to keep them isolated out from that now. I have to make sure my screens are up and avoid pollinators from coming into there. And you may ask, well, then how do they pollinate? Well, that's your job then. You got to go in there and shake them, keep the plants from going over into each other at all. And so that means you're going to have to be more diligent with your pruning. You're focusing on what you're growing, not getting now. Well, okay, unless of course you're growing side by side like I did Primo last year. Those Primo, I don't care what they do; they can grow together. Who cares, right? Because they're Primo, they're growing Primo. That's what. So usually, what I try and do is isolate in that type of a way. As much as it didn't seem like it in the farmer house, I was isolating on those in a way because they had a specific area that they were in. And it was important that they were in specific areas, that they weren't being pushed over into another area. And if they were, I would have to take some kind of precautions on making sure that they weren't crossing over each other. And that meant I had to trim. And that's what you'll have to do if you want to do that. Now, if you don't care, then don't care. But back onto these, this is should make your growing just a little bit easier. I'm going to be getting these out in the next day or two. I just got to I'm going to go get some of the USPS envelopes, and I'm going to pack these into there. And I'll be sending these out here within a day or two so that you have these before you're ready to transfer your plants or anything like that. So again, Jim, go ahead and go over to he's always posting his stuff on Facebook over there. Give him a shout if you're looking for seeds still. Still fighting this. Bootstrap Farmer. I have a link to that. Go to the video that you commented in. I'm telling you what, you can get the bags there. You will not regret using those bags. You buy them in 10 packs. I think the only ones that's not, you can buy them in more. So 10 packs is what their basic is. I think you can get the 7-gallon in 5 packs. 25-gallon, 15-gallon, 10-gallon. I've got some 10-gallon grow bags of the Bootstrap Farmer. I've got 25-gallon, which I experimented with one last year. And it seems like the one plants that are still living right now in the monster house, because I'm trying to let them die down because I'm going to pull everything out of there. The only ones that are still living right now are the ones in the grow bags. And you would think that they would have been the first ones to die out, but they didn't. So I've got a red DSP in there growing right now and a chocolate DSP in there growing right now inside of Bootstrap Farmer 5-gallon grow bags. They just are not ready to give up. They just keep going. Crazy. So, recharge, Real Growers, Grow Dots. I also have a link in the description for these guys. 10% off if you order through that link. You're going to get a 10% discount, and it'll say in there to use the code Papa Bear, and I believe it's all in caps. But go onto that link, follow it, and do that. Hey Terry, how you doing, bud? Good to see you, bud. Good to hear from you. Should be, yeah, I tell you what. And it seems like, at first when I seen the price and I bought like the 1 pound bag, it seems like somebody was like, well, that's kind of pricey. Not if it lasts you a year. I think I want to, and you can get a 10% discount on it if you go through Real Growers. If you go through that link that I have in the video, I'm putting it in a lot of the videos. But, if I were going to tell you at least one thing is to get the recharge and bring that into your grow with anything that you use as a supplement. Like, say you want it just to do your compost teas. In and of itself is a compost tea. It has growth accelerators in it. All kinds of, yeah. And I am not by any means putting down their grow dots, but I also use One Shot from Nectar for the Gods. So I can use the recharge with anything, synthetic or organic. It works with either. My big thing with synthetic nutrients, and I know people out there love the crack key system and everything else, and I know it works. I also know, what do you do with the water when you're done? Where does that go? Into the ground. So if it goes into the ground, all those salts go into the ground too. So yeah, I don't know. I think that because then when you do that, then you kill the microbes in the soil that you poured in. I'm sorry, I got issues with synthetics, and that's why you've always seen me holding steadfast to organics, like Real Growers. And there's more roots, more fruits, and it does help with the roots. I tell you, the plants are strong, doing really well. So. All right. Well, congratulations to our 3 winners. Grow and Show 4209. Let me make sure I get this right. John Ron 3948 and Pat Muscat. Congratulations to you guys. I'll be getting these out to you soon, and hopefully you get to experience the fun and joy of using this stuff. Even if you're doing seedlings right now, you can take one of these, 1/4 teaspoon in a gallon of water, and water your seedlings. I have a sprayer out there, and I top spray my plants with them all the time, even seedlings. I know a lot of people, they're not feeding yet. As long as they got roots, they're feeding. Tell me different. Prove me wrong. If they have roots, they're uptaking. If they weren't, they wouldn't have roots, would they? So, as long as they have roots down there looking for food, they're feeding. You know what? They might not eat everything that I'm giving them right now, but they will. If that, if they're drinking the water that's in the soil, that means they're drinking the nutrients that are in the soil too. They're uptaking those nutrients. And the microbes in this soil or in this recharge make it very easy for the plants to digest the microbes that are in the soil. And that's what you're working on is a microbial food web. You build that up, and then you're going to be doing good. So, all right, folks. Well, I'm going to let you go tonight. Have a great night. This is Harold with Papa Bear's Peppers. Have a great night and keep growing. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Hopefully, I am.